Yesterday.
Okay, we're all happy.
Okay. So you have our. So I'd like to call to order the Washington County Board of Supervisors Personnel Committee meeting for Thursday, February 12th. And the first thing on the agenda will be to accept the minutes. Do we have a motion to move the minutes from the January 8th, 2026 meeting?
Motion.
So moved by John, seconded by Lance. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed, carried. That moves us on to Stacy, to Danielle for staffing.
So we have some straight backfills. First one is for DPW. Actually, you guys should have all received the backup information, the backfill request forms in the email. And the reason why the positions, the department heads would like the positions to be backfilled. So the first one is the highway worker 2, which vacated on January 23rd due to a resignation. And this one, it looks like they maintain and plow the roads.
Do you have any questions on that? Does that call? Morning, Brian. Good morning, Brian. Okay. Your motion, we got a motion to approve. And Nate, seconded by Jay. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed, carried.
The next one is a probation officer 1 trainee. It's vacated January 30th due to a resignation.
Any questions on that one?
Danielle, are they having trouble filling the position spots? Or they seems like they're.
In the past,
I
they-
get the trainees to go all the way through.
In the past, he has had a hard time filling these positions, yeah.
Good, Jim.
This is new employment.
The person left for different employment, that's all.
Okay, that's why it's vacated.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the entry level training.
You have a motion to move that? Nate, seconded by Brian, seconded by Lance. Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed, carried.
The next one is for public health, the preschool service coordinator, vacated on, will be vacating February 23rd due to a resignation. And Tina is here at questions.
Yeah. Do you have somebody lined up for that yet? You have a
Would you have a candidate?
candidate?
Yeah.
You have a motion, Brian, you have a second. Sue, John, any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye, opposed, carried. Public safety.
Public safety, we have a communications officer vacated on January 31st due to a resignation.
Moved by Brian, seconded by Sue. Nate, do you have a question?
No.
Lance,
No, I was just
I saw a hand, Lance second also. I apologize for that. Any discussion? Yeah,
Are we including in the request for the automatic backfills or the?
I was going to bring that up next.
that'll be a separate item for us to discuss. Is there any further questions? All in favor, aye? John, do you have another question?
I guess just those qualities. Are we still doing the interviews for just resignation? We don't interview.
Yes, interviews me.
Yeah, there's exit interviews.
We received some exit interviews, but if you'd like to go over them as well.
No, I just wonder if we
Okay.
receive them.
We do receive them.
Not, we may not get all of them because they.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yes. So one more time, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, carried. Thank you.
So move from public safety was also a request for automatic backfills for the communication officer positions due to the nature of their position. So, any discussion on that, I guess.
I would move that because of the nature of it. They don't need to wait a month for us to decide those positions. Need to.
Okay, thank you, Gene. We have a second for that.
I'll second.
Second by Sue, by Lance. Is there any discussion on that?
That be a resolution.
They've already done it.
Sorry.
Okay, it would be move to the full board for resolution.
Mr. Chair, that aspect. I do want to think that though, I do know, Sue, that there's an issue down, in public safety that they'd like to bring to their committee at the next meeting. And either Glenn or Tim could be here. Tim is trained in Syracuse. And Glenn had a medical emergency in the family. So he's not here today to ask to go into executive session. That's a personnel issue, so. Okay, I just want to give you a heads up, the next meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, please.
So the next few are for social services. We have 2 social services examiner positions that vacated due to resignations. And both, backup information is on the forms. One of these positions, if I could speak for Dwayne, actually, one of the person is on a preferred list that we could bring back into her position to fill that as long as we backfill
You explain
one of these. So from the layoff, from the social services examiner position, she was placed on a preferred list, so she's not in her position. If we approve this, we can actually bring her back to the position that she was in when she was laid off.
And how many of them have we brought back already?
One so far in social services.
Already, and this is the second,
This would be,
and there's only, how many, a handful left then?
yeah,
I'll move that. Is this is
this is for.
Dwayne, everybody.
Part of the staff, people that we lost.
Okay.
You bring him back.
Should need less training too.
Yes.
I'll second.
Moved by John, seconded by Jay. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
So I'm actually skipping down to the community services worker. Due to that backfill approval, this person would be the one vacating the community services worker position and going into the social services examiner position. So we're asking to backfill that position as well.
Moved by Sue, do we have a second? Brian?
Wait a minute. So that's not my resignation, the community service worker,
It is, she did resign
from that position to
Yes,
move up
to
to the
move
next.
into,
Okay.
yeah, yep. I know, it's a lot of moving parts.
So we're looking at having both of the examiner positions may be filled quickly, one that's moving up and one that comes back.
Hopefully, yeah.
This would be helpful, that person went, I think a grade 10, down to grade, took to grade 7, so she could keep her foot in the door, very good worker, somebody that is really well liked, great job for the county. And now it will have that opportunity to go back, DA were short, where she's really needed, and for her not, and then we would just backfilling the position that she temporarily held, so it all worked out well. And then, I think, Brian, I think you said, we're saving costs on training,
Yeah,
right? So that goes back to that. It's all good,
should hopefully move along better.
yes, understood.
Jay?
I was just gonna ask real quickly, what does the community services work do?
So they're over in ERC, help with transportation, that's the one of the things they, support in their office. There's 2 over there.
So any more questions on those? Okay, I'm gonna move to the caseworker position. This one vacated on February 6th due to a resignation.
I'm moving.
I'm moving it. Brian, seconded. Any discussion? So,
We don't have anybody in the background that can do this position.
This is somewhat an entry level position. Caseworkers are, the qualifications are bachelor's degree, but it is a 1 level type position, so. Oh. These positions though are in our HELPS program. So having said that, the the person that applies just needs to meet the minimum qualifications now for the position. There's not necessarily an exam that they have to take to be placed on a preferred list, so it's a little bit easier for Dwayne to go through applications, see if they meet the minimum qualifications and get them in. Right, right.
Yeah,
So this was resign, this was not resigned to go for another position.
Right. Resign and left the county.
any further questions?
Yeah, just one.
Right.
If caseworker is an entry level position, why does it make so much more than the social services?
It requires a bachelor's degree.
Okay, no.
That's why.
I just, when you were talking entry level, like you didn't have to have any tests or anything, I'm like, you get paid a lot more than everybody.
Does that
Caseworker,
work?
social service, like no one can promote into a caseworker position.
Yep.
So that's why I consider it. entry
But they have to
level,
have the degree.
But they have to have.
No, it makes sense.
Any further questions? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried.
The next item is for youth. There, actually, this was brought to Health and Human Services. Sue received, the funding for this position. It is already on the staffing pattern, so she's just asking to, backfill that position for the youth intern.
Now that the funding's there.
Yes.
Moved by Brian, seconded by Jay. Is there any further discussion? Nate?
How long will this funding be in place for?
You know,
Yeah, so this position right here is in our staffing pattern, so it's just contingent on our contract with Warren County to operate as their Warren County Youth Bureau. So if that contract ever went away, this position we would not hire for. This is just if we have the Warren County Youth Bureau contract.
Which is annual, I believe.
They review it annually. We try to have them do a 3-year, but they review it every year now.
So this position follows the contract.
we may be able to. Okay,
The grant follow contract.
what's that?
Well, they don't wait, they don't fill it unless they get the grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Not unless the grant signed, but
It's almost like when we talked about shadowing. They get grant money to pay the people to learn and then they can choose whether they keep them or not. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
you got a motion on that, right? You got a motion?
Yeah.
Brian made the motion, Jason. All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
So we did have an addition to the agenda for the jail. An assistant cook, is leaving her position due to a resignation today. And they're here if you have any questions.
And that's a position that not only affects the jail, but affects the Meals on Wheels and all the other stuff that goes with it. They're looking to, have one of that too. Is it? Go and accept it. Jay, do you have a question?
No, I'm not.
John?
How many hours?
Hours? 35. Do you have anybody?
Or that you set up.
All right. Any further questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to wait or you want to talk about it.
No, it's other business. Okay.
All right, so we have the one that's one which we have in public defenders. And two profiles.
Yeah, so we have, now we're moving to the staffing pattern changes. The public defender actually requested to add 2 more assistant public defender part-time positions to the staffing pattern. And I was just gonna have a discussion on that.
Sure. We had 2 already, is that what we?
With 3 are.
3?
Yes,
Well,
well,
there was 1 originally, we added 3, so they're up to 4. We're adding 2 more. We're trying to keep stuff from going to assigned counts. That's what we're,
Help tremendously.
we're trying to update.
Less money than.
And so,
That's the headline.
So Brian, do we only pay them when we give them cases or are they getting paid a certain amount?
they get paid a salary.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is there's no real budget amendment to go with it yet. I think this is gonna play out towards the end of the year because we don't actually know the revenue. Whatever we budget, the revenue never boy, it's because of the strings attached to it. So there's no way to move that. We know it saves money by having them on salary rather than paying them hourly. That's the best I can tell you at this point. And we're having a meeting later today to keep going further on what we're after with legal aid and all those things. So this is just the start.
We already know that every case they touch, whether it's 1 or 101, is saving $158 an hour. So we already know that.
Well, it's saving 158, but we're paying them.
We're paying the salary, so yeah,
But that salary divided by their hourly is.
phenomenal.
And as a part timer, they're not drawing additional.
They have an option to join the retirement system, but there are no other benefits.
That's another big news.
Move it.
Moved by Brian, you have a second? Jay, Dave, I have a question. How many hours a week are they gonna work?
It's salary, so there's no hours.
You should probably have assigned courts to go to.
They'll have the same duties.
Would be advantageous for us and the taxpayers. Any further questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you. Yes, let's go to your question.
I'd like to request consideration from the personnel committee as far as the backfills go. I had a discussion with the sheriff this morning because one of the backfill positions requests this morning was for a cook in the jail. He currently has permission to backfill right away any positions for road patrol or for correction officers. Obviously they need cooks, right, in the jail, so this would slow down the process. You've already approved today, public safety, right, to now they can do automatic backfills. My request from the committee is if you would be comfortable with Danielle and I vetting the backfills that are coming from the departments. They're already budgeted for the year, and I understand the supervisors wanting more oversight over what we backfill, because maybe we don't need to backfill all the positions that we have. And I understand that, right? So we want to vet every position that's vacant and not just automatically fill that position because we had it filled earlier in the week. So my request is for you to grant me the permission to vet the backfills with Danielle. Give me the ability to approve the positions to go ahead and be backfilled as long as they're already budgeted. I can consult with the chair of the personnel committee if there's any that, are questions. And if there's questionable ones, we'll bring them to personnel to have you all vet them and decide whether or not you want to fill them. But it seems like we keep making exceptions already to the rule that was established for more oversight. And there's some positions here, like we know if we have a caseworker that's vacant, we need to backfill that caseworker position. We don't have extra caseworkers. And operations depend on those positions being filled. There might be some, like if there's a clerk backfill, not that clerks aren't important because they are, but if we have a clerk that's vacant, maybe we can restructure the department, or we can look to see if those positions or those duties can be taken on by someone else in the department. So I guess I'm asking you just to help the efficiency of the departments and their staff for us to just be able to backfill positions unless there's some that are questionable. And of course, I would talk to the chairman of the committee and bring those to committee. And we can still let you know what's backfilled, but it's just really slowing down the process.
The chairman of the committee should be involved to begin with, probably before you even talk to personnel. You should talk to the chairman of whatever.
Well, the departments bring the request to Danielle. She's aware that their position is vacant. And then before she would come here, we would have a discussion.
Right, but it should go, your discussion should be with the chairman of the committee.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
he's.
Well,
yes.
originally you just said personnel. The chairman of the committee they're under should have the first discussion.
No,
Yes,
we don't.
that's
no,
why we
we
have
don't.
chairmans of committees.
No, that's been changed 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
You
We don't
always-
take backfills to committees. We
No,
haven't done that.
I didn't say take the backfill. I think you should have the discussion with the chairman of the committee. I didn't say it had to go to the committee. The chairman who it falls under should be aware of what's happening. That's why we have chairman of committees
Not for backfills.
for everything.
Cassie?
I'll disagree with Ryan because I think if the head of the department has an idea on how they want to fill it, whether it's a straight backfill or if they want to reorganize a little bit, that information Danielle would have to answer first. And I think most committee chairs are gonna say, did you clear this with personnel? Like, I think the committee chair should come in near the beginning of the conversation. But to know whether or not you can even make the change, only Danielle could.
Oh, I'm not,
Somebody could
that
be
wasn't my
touched.
argument. My
Your
argument,
argument sounded like you wanted.
no,
to
my
make
argument
sure
is after they talk with the committee chair of whatever department it is before it goes to personnel.
So now we're adding another step that we didn't even have yesterday.
Right, but we always used to always include committee chairs. That's how they learn about
Not
their
with
own
backfills.
departments,
Not
with
with
everything in the
So-
committee. Ooh, this is
Beyond
so
the
scary.
committees, if this, person had walked away like tomorrow, we would have had to wait 30 days, I'm talking about the kitchen, we would have had to wait 30 days before they could even consider finding someone.
Correct.
That puts a huge strain on that department. And not only that, but the costs are greater because now you're talking overhead costs.
Yes. And that was the concern of the sheriff this morning. It was,
Davis next.
And so then you're talking.
I'm not even arguing any of that.
45 days.
We set up the process that they come to personnel, they automatically backfill the position, and then notify the personnel committee. That was put into play 3-4 years ago because everything's getting clogged down. You know,
I'm just talking about the communication. That's all I'm referring to.
well, you all know I communicate with you all the time anyway. I'm not gonna keep anything from you. But I don't want to add another step to the process that we haven't been having already. I mean, we get kind of stuck with our processes. It slows us down considerably.
Danielle and then we'll look at it.
So just to clarify too, last year, what happened was the department heads would come to me with a backfill. And I would say, okay, do you need the position? And they would say yes. So I would say, okay, go ahead with your process, which meant go ahead and start interviewing. You know, you can fill it at any point between then, that time. In the meantime, I would add it to the agenda to be backfilled. The position might have already been filled when I brought it to committee. So that was what we were doing last year. Then it slowed up because now I say you have to wait for personnel to approve the position now. So now they don't actually have that time to start interviewing, posting the position. I mean, we do post the positions, but otherwise they have to wait to actually start that person. So we may lose people within that period too. But again, it's up to you if you wanna.
But that's
Continue
also
what
the
we're
reason
doing.
why 5 years ago, we changed the process because of exactly that. It was taking such a long time, slowing down the process. We were losing candidates, which is why we went back to the request just being automatically backfilled. But I understand with the budgetary issues this past year, we want to vet those out, but I just am asking that the personnel officer and myself, if you allow us to be able to, make that decision, to fill these quicker.
I support you on this, because this is, you guys are in the business, civil servants up here are in the business of the day to day. And I don't think that waiting for a monthly meeting is the right answer in every case. I think that you could be an effective screen to the requests coming in by rules that I'd suggest you work out between our committee chair and personnel. But I think that can save us some time, and I think it can get the ones that don't require a whole lot of thought, like replacing, like we talked about here before, like with the communications officers. That's a no-brainer. There's no reason that it needs to wait.
And right now, we have to keep going back, right? Do we have a resolution for the cook? We have a resolution for correction officers and road patrol. Now we have a resolution for the communication officers, and it's trying to remember who we have approval to go ahead and backfill and who we don't. It's making it very messy and
Yeah, and
difficult.
if you're in the spring, you guys just set the rules for what gets screened.
Commissioner?
So this is only for budgeted positions for the sheriff's.
No, I'm talking about budgeted backfills for all departments.
And also to clarify, this wouldn't mean for any restructuring. So any staffing pattern changes, if a department came to me asking for restructuring, it would have to go to their committee first. which would move to personnel on the board for staffing pattern changes. So it doesn't mean that is automatic.
Right.
That would still go through every committee, but the backfills won't.
Okay,
Things, first of all, making the department head notifies the committee chair that they're gonna do this. Just notify them.
That's where I was. That's all I'm saying is include them.
It would take 5 minutes to call your committee chair, say, this person left, we're gonna fill him. And bring it forward. If he has any objections, then he can bring those objections forward. Second of all, about four months ago, we have that motion in place that everyone has to come to their committee and here. Because it wasn't a hiring freeze. Remember, Brian?
Right.
You have that place, we'll have to undo that too.
Well, we changed it after that discussion. We changed it to them all coming to personnel to getting approval. This is what I'm saying. We've changed this process like 5 times over 5 years.
Well, it's been about 100 times. I've said that.
Well, that's even worse.
I mean, I know your fault.
Jay?
I'm not against this, but I think when every time we have an empty position, the head of those departments need to take a hard look at, okay, do we need to refill it? We've always been status quo. Is there something we can do now? Is there opportunities for efficiency? You know, well, we always carried this one because the workload might be too much. Well, maybe it isn't too much, or maybe, you know, things change. I just think that the way that the economy is and the tax base is, we gotta look hard at every position, and if we're not doing it and we don't know enough, you need to have that discussion, Danielle, with the head of the department.
So I assure you, Supervisor Scully, I've already had that discussion with all the department heads multiple times since the budget started last June, July. And that is happening. Department heads are not just filling positions because they've always had them. Department heads are very aware of the situation we're in economically and financially right now. They're feeling it in their departments and they're feeling it in their own pockets. They get it.
John?
As a department head, or if a department head come to the meeting and committee, how could I review? You're saying the department head comes to the committee and the personnel are to you guys. If I give them the okay, or I don't understand what's going on here.
The process right now is that the department head notifies the personnel officer that they have a vacancy in their department. And then the personnel officer tells the department head they need to come to personnel to be able to back up and justify why they need to fill that position. And
they
then you
do
approve it.
the backfill forms that justifies the position as well.
So now personnel and you are gonna
Decide
We
before
review
you-
what
you're gonna
we
decide
review
before it
it.
gets here.
but it's
We
gotta be
review it.
budgeted first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's not, nothing to
Yes.
change the budget or staffing
Right.
patterns.
Right.
And we'd still notify you. I'm just asking us to be able to,
They're
you
the
know, speed
straight
up the
backfills.
process.
They're the straight backfills.
So we got Nate, then we got Brian, then we got the commissioner.
One of the things that concerns me is I would expect every department head to say that every position they're trying to fill is important. Maybe not to the county as a whole, but to that department they are. What guidelines are we gonna have in place to steer the individuals in this decision that this is actually a needed backfill versus a wanted backfill? You follow what I'm saying? You know, because there is a difference between need and a want.
So Danielle being an expert in her field as personnel officer and myself having 7 years here as personnel officer, we have that expertise to know the classification of positions, what role they play in the departments, and can best talk to the department head about, you know, maybe we can take this other position, reclassify it to something else, bump it up a grade or two and not have to fill another position. So we have that ability. We do that. We've done that for years. We have experience.
If you bump it up a grade or two, then it brings it out of budget, isn't it?
Well, we wouldn't do that without coming for approval, of course.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, we know how to look at the classification of position.
Right.
So I
Tries to catch me there.
I think everyone got misinformed or I miscommunicated. What I'm saying is, you gotta remember, there's a lot of new people here since I've been here now. And it used to be we communicated with the actual committee chair of whatever department was looking for whatever. And the sole purpose of that is if you're getting called every day about a problem, you realize, oh, there's something going on in my department. If you're getting called once a month, you're like, my department's doing okay personnel wise. It's really to get more knowledge of the committee chairs, departments that they're over.
And
I
that,
think that's the important link that I want to make sure is happening.
and that would be the department heads speaking with their chairperson.
But department heads do
Right.
that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, department heads know the process. They know who the chair of their committees are and they inform the chairs of those committees of things. that
I
they
wanted
have.
to make sure that part wasn't being
That's
left out
happening.
because that wasn't ever mentioned. That
Well,
was-
we may not include you, but we include everyone.
Well, I'm not a committee chair.
Well, see, that's why you're excluded.
Some guys like an important.
The commissioner is next, and then patient, then we got David, then we got John.
I guess my question would be, do you have a written process or policy? Or could it be created? It might be helpful for everybody to understand if either what you guys are saying, if it's written in process and policy distributed.
I would inform you if the committee approves this.
Yeah.
We would inform all the department heads with the process.
So, and also in regards to the comment, talking about backfilling positions as we move along in our departments. I think I haven't been there yet, but I'm gonna assume when it comes close to the next budget time that I'm gonna evaluate positions and see what's needed or not. But during that process, before you get there, it's imperative for morale and integrity of the office that we continue to backfill the positions that we've been approved for on our staffing pattern, right? If people have to second guess if they're gonna be supported in their unit throughout, on a monthly basis, that's tough on the department. So I don't disagree that come budget time, yes, we might reevaluate and say, hey, we wanna shift this here or not have this position, or whatever it might be, but up until that point, it's pretty critical that we keep moving.
So I agree with you, but there's part of that I don't agree with. Yes, you are budgeted for certain positions. I'm just saying the efficiency doesn't just start and isn't during budget time, right? We're supposed to be evaluating positions and efficiency all year round.
Budget
So,
process starts, what, halfway into the year?
Yep.
So I
Well,
mean,
so
don't
does
talk
that-
about 6 months.
but you may have always had 10 positions in your department. You may have 2 vacancies right now that we can have discussions about, and maybe there's a different way to do it. Like, we always have to be open to making changes if that's necessary, if there's an efficiency that can be gained. That's all.
And if the news is bad with our year-end report, all this may change again.
But I agree, morale and supporting the
Yeah.
department head is important.
Okay, so 2 things, we just evaluated 60 positions out of our contract. I imagine it's gonna happen more often as we go through the budget season.
57.
Better value yours out too.
This collecting.
But the second thing is, as we look at this personnel committee is made up of every department chair who has employees and report themselves. I think that's important to remember, so you are being notified about what's going on. And that was set up consciously to make sure we did that. Before that, we didn't have that set up.
Morning, Chairman.
Right there, here's the library.
Oh.
You won't be counted.
Does anyone have anything else? So we have a motion and that was all discussion, or do we have a?
When we make I know the wording of what we're doing here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
My request was for the committee to approve the personnel officer and myself and the chair of the committee to vet the vacancies, the budgeted vacancies, and just go ahead and fill those if necessary, without committee approval. That was my request.
And do we have to rescind resolution 170 somehow? I see that.
That's different.
That's something
We'll
different.
move on to that now.
Okay, I didn't.
Different
Did we have a
discussion.
resolution prior?
Yeah, that made it all come.
Do we have to
together.
rescind that?
Well, no,
or
because
just
this one
override?
was precedent, because it's. that was-
Okay.
Yeah, you had a
Should
resolution
be good
to fill the communication
Yeah.
officer, whether or not you want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Well, whatever you who decide to do or fill in what positions, will that be reported to this committee?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
After.
So,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that, let's just state it, is
okay, do a second.
I'll second.
Second by Lance. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right.
You.
Now we're on to the resolution amendment. Is that what we're asking?
Yes. So I have a request to amend resolution 176 from 2011. According to the process that is currently in place in DPW, the resolution is not clear anymore. It does include positions that are no longer in the department. So what this resolution did, it allowed non-union employees working 4 10-hour days a week to mirror the Teamsters contract and accrue 10-hour holidays for construction season only. So right now, they do allow the non-union office staff to work 4 10s during the construction season only. And the process that has been in place is to pay them the 10-hour holiday during the construction season. It is not clear in the resolution, so we just wanted to create a new resolution stating that what the process actually is.
And it's actually what we've been doing.
Yes.
Yes.
This is just codified.
It's just, yeah.
Practice.
Any questions on that?
Support.
Anybody?
Move it.
Jay?
Second.
Jay moves it. Seconded by, I'm sorry, by Lance and Brad. Any further discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. So the next item in your packet is the handbook, all highlighted in yellow. So the only part that is currently in the handbook is the non-highlighted part. And then the two that are have strike through on the top. So we wanted to add something about the closing of the county buildings, since we'd have some snow days. So if we could go through each paragraph, I think, so we can clarify what it actually means and the intent of that.
The top one. It isn't.
Oh, you can, that's what it's been.
Well, the top one isn't even accurate because all electrical equipment should be turned off. Computers have to be updated.
You are right,
So.
on Tuesdays.
Like that was not
Okay, we can
correct.
correct that while we're.
We can't
while
open
we're
the
here.
windows.
You can't open the window. You can, but they're gonna get out in the hard way. Yeah.
We could take that off, that whole thing out.
What do you think?
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we could take that, remove that.
Maybe remove it.
Remove it?
The end of the workday, we could just take that paragraph.
Yeah,
off.
because some things have to stay plugged in and working.
True, probably prior to computers.
Yeah. Sorry.
Good
Yeah,
catch,
oh
good
my.
catch. Thank you.
We're done to building closures.
Last sentence.
They know that, department heads, and departments, I don't think we need it.
Most of them aren't in paper anyway.
Right,
So the first new paragraph is building closures, delayed openings, and early dismissals. The chairman of the board has the authority to determine when county buildings will be closed, have a delayed opening, or closed early due to inclement weather or other unusual circumstances. When such a determination is made, employees will be notified through appropriate county communication channels as soon as practical. Do you agree that that is okay?
that's the process we currently follow, that we discuss the weather with the chairman ahead of time and make that determination, whether we need to have a delay or a closing.
They fall in big and go so.
We say, hey, it's really icy out there, what do you think, chairman? Right? No, we can talk about that. We didn't want to.
Okay, so the others have to do with pay and leave, critical operations, employees with pre-scheduled leave are part-time employees, and if the building remains open during inclement. So the pay and leave When any county building is closed for a full day, eligible employees scheduled to work will be paid for the day for the regularly scheduled shift. When the county buildings have a delayed opening and have closed early, eligible employees will be paid for the day and will not be required to use accrued benefit time for the period of the closure.
Which is the current process then. Nothing new.
So for
Should it, can I ask a question about that? It says they'll be paid for the day. Should it say that they'll be paid for such hours as a closure?
Yes.
Yeah, cause that
Right,
might
they
not be a
won't,
full
they won't
day.
be paid for the day. They'll be paid for whatever hours we close.
Right, if they're closed for 2
Right, so if
hours.
they
they
close
get
2 hours
paid.
early,
If they're
they
paid
get
for the
paid
whole
2
day.
hours.
Are you talking about the part that, the
That's
first
the second
under
paragraph.
pay and leave or the second part?
The second part where it says when the county building have a delayed opening or have closed early, eligible employees will be paid for the day.
Day, and will not be required
And
to.
I'm just asking, should it say they'll be paid for those such hours?
Sure.
For the
You
town.
can do that.
Such hours.
Just so that they're not,
Back in
we're-
8
it
hours.
doesn't give the illusion that we're paying them for the full day. But you know what I mean? It's for the hours that we close, right?
That's good.
Thanks.
made whole this time,
Made
we
whole,
say.
sure.
Yes.
Again, look for whatever their schedule was.
Nobody's making money when we have a delay or a closure, right?
So now under critical operations, departments and positions deemed critical to the operations of the county are required to report to work as scheduled unless otherwise directed. Employees in critical roles are required to work during the closure.
Which would be your sheriff's office, communication hours, officers, building and ground staff, GW who's plowing, all those people, jail.
Your
The
essential
jail,
workers.
yeah, anybody who is required, yeah.
They know when they're getting hired, they have to work for them.
They know,
Everybody else.
yes. Yeah, they know the
They know
duties of
that's
their
not a-
position, so if you're a snowplow driver, you better plan on plowing the snow when the weather's
Yeah, and
bad,
driving to
right?
get there.
Yeah, and same thing with, yes, that is true.
So also employees with pre-scheduled leave, which means that if someone has requested a vacation day for that day, they would still have to use that scheduled time. So the paragraph states employees who had previously received approval to use benefit time on a day that the buildings are closed or delayed will be required to use their scheduled benefit time. And that has been past practice. Part-time employees that are scheduled to work but did not work during the period of closure will be paid for their scheduled shift. And that would be only if they were scheduled for that day. They would be paid. And the last paragraph has to do with employees using their own discretion of commuting to work. When the chairman has not officially shut down operations, they would have to request authorization from their department head to take personal time to not come into work that day. So that's what that paragraph states.
They have to use accrued benefit time.
Yes,
It's not sick.
but not sick unless they're sick.
Sick of the weather.
So, so
Daniel, back up to operations. Do we have, I mean, you know, my head is looking at it from 7 different windows. A grant deadline is due, CPS has 24 hours to report. Do these things fall under a critical employee, or do they just make their own judgment call?
I think that particular situation, there's been times when there's been cold weather that people have been grounded basically for lack of a better term. If they get to the building, they're not supposed to go out and do that, so. It's obviously to the best of their ability. We're not gonna put somebody in danger when you get that one. I assume.
I think.
Not that I'm speaking for Dwayne, but I think it's
Doesn't
fairly
speak for everyone.
accurate.
In the past, I know social services has tried to keep their people back on bad weather days for meetings.
Okay, so I just got one question to go back up to the closing of the building. So I know we specifically say the chairman of the board has the authority to determine, which we all know is the way it works, okay? Is it automatically assumed that because he's incapacitated for what, that day, for whatever reason, that it goes for the vice chair to pick up
Yes.
there? It does, so we don't need to outline that anywhere?
I think that covered the duty.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that somebody didn't come back and say, well, weren't available and et cetera.
So I just
went through
closed
the
it.
process, don't call.
If he's incapacitated, you just all come to work. That's the way it is.
Right.
Okay, works for me. Who else?
We don't wanna go to
Yeah.
work then.
So where it says departments and positions deemed critical, so that's where, can it be inferred that our engineers are part of the positions? Because if you're gonna require DPW, right, as a department, but you don't want the engineers coming in.
So that's not our determination, that's you as a department head to determine what positions in your department are deemed critical. If the
And that's
weather's
what I'm
bad,
asking, is the word positions, what is that?
yes.
And then they're not paid because they're required to come in.
They would be paid normally for work,
They were.
right?
Is there any further questions? Think we have a motion to change the handbook,
So moved.
meet those criteria. Lance, we have a second. Sue. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Carried.
I have another item related to closings that I'd like to discuss with the committee. So on December 29th, the chairman made the call to have a 1.5 hour delay for the opening. We had that really bad icy weather, so we opened an 1.5 hours late that day. On January 26th, we had a closing completely, right? So we had closed the building for the 26th. My question is, we've received a lot of phone calls from the positions that we, I guess, would consider critical to operations that worked those days. Their question, and this has been done in the past, when we have closed the building for the whole day, in the past, we have credited those positions that had to be working with one vacation day to mirror the day that everybody else got off. So the examples that we have is the one full day, and then we also have the 1.5 hour delayed opening. I would like to have it in the handbook, what we're going to do, if anything, for those people that had to work those days. If we close the day completely for the day, it just really applies to the municipality, right, the building. My suggestion would be that if we close for the whole day, we give one vacation day to those employees that had to work regardless. And maybe if it's less than a day, you knew that your job required you to work when the
Well, that-
weather's
that
bad
actually
or
pertains to
emergencies
both.
or- I think it's kind of a gift you'd be giving to the employee that had to work. It's not that,
Right,
they still have
but
to
it
work.
pertains to the same thing, yeah.
John,
If I was not required to work and decided I wanted an extra vacation day, so I come into work that day, would I get an extra
No.
vacation day?
You don't get to make that call. The department head deems whether or not your position is critical for the operations. If it's bad weather, nobody's working unless you're supposed to be working.
Nice try, John.
You don't get to just make that determination.
You're gonna tell me I can't work?
Yes, take the day off, shovel.
any other discussion? Go ahead, Sue.
That's when it goes back to the
Tough.
definition of critical. Okay, and so we don't have it defined. You said the department heads have each of that. So does that fall back to you, as the county administrators, to make that determination? Or does it come from the department?
It would be the department head, if they had questions, they already reach out to Danielle and myself. There's some departments that aren't critical in operations, and just wouldn't operate on days like that. Some positions in departments do have to be here, while others don't. So, yeah, we need the leeway.
So some are considered essential by law, like public health.
Right.
Scott.
Shouldn't that be reflected in their job description?
Yeah.
If they're critical.
So I think it's a good point, but sometimes depending on the circumstances, it could change who's critical and who's not. Right? If we're closing because of the weather, I think that would give you some positions that are critical and you still have to report. Wayne may have caseworker or hearings or court.
Child protective.
And Dan might have court on days where maybe his staff still has to report, even though the rest of us have the day off.
Critical would not be category critical, critical would just be at the moment.
It's critical
ad-
to the
Right,
operation.
it's an adjective, it's not a category.
Right.
I think I have a reason where I have a real problem with that now that I've been able to think through the whole thing. You're a critical person, like we said before, you can use your whatever time you have if you can't drive it.
Right.
So if I know I have 13 days of vacation left, and I know today's a bad day, and I don't want to drive in, I can just take that day, knowing you're gonna give one of those days back, so my 13th is gonna stay
I
13.
think maybe I didn't
Automatic,
explain
that
it
would
right.
be
I may have explained it wrong.
That was.
That's
I'm not
exactly
clear.
what would happen.
No,
The
I'm
department
not-
does not allow that.
in different work.
No, I'm-
Yeah, but that's exactly
So,
what would happen.
What
You
the
can take a
scenario-
vacation day and
no,
you're gonna
You
get,
can't
That's a
just
whole
take a
different-
vacation.
what's that?
You can't just take a
It
vacation.
has to be approved by your department head. But that's not even the
So what are you
scenario.
calling your days that you can take if the weather's bad, that you said hours, you
That's
said
not
it was everything but,
Critical.
you said everything but a sick day.
So that's if the
It's
building
not
remains
critical staff.
open, but you wanna leave.
So it's open if you are on that critical group.
No, so-
Yes, the jail's open. If I'm coming in to work in the jail, I can say, wait a minute, I'm taking a vacation day because the weather's bad today and I don't want to drive in.
No, this.
And I get a vacation day back. I think,
No.
I
No,
don't
what I,
like that.
so I think I explained it wrong. So what I'm trying to bring up is the fact that it's a closing, there's critical staff that had to work. I'm gonna use DPW, for example, okay? It's snowing, the building's closed, DPW had to work. Would you like to or would you like to give those people that had to work that full day one vacation day credit? Or would you like to say, no, you don't get any, because you're expected to work your plow driver? I guess that's what I'm trying to.
So Brian, in your scenario, it couldn't happen. Because you only get the extra vacation day if you came in. You can't take a vacation day and get a vacation day. That scenario isn't how it works.
These are the people that worked.
You only get the
Had
extra
to work.
vacation day if you come.
We wouldn't allow that.
You don't get that day
Yeah.
replenished by taking
We
it.
have to adjust
There's
our
something
buckets.
that's not right about that. You get right down. I'm sorry, Scott.
Isn't that reflected in the change the handbook that you guys just voted on?
No.
It says if you're on vacation, you don't get that day.
Correct.
Right.
This is nothing to do,
Right,
Brian.
right, that's totally different.
Yeah, totally different. These are the people that had to come to work.
Yeah.
The plow drivers had to plow that day. Maybe I didn't have to work, bad example. I didn't have to work, so I didn't come to work. But the plow drivers did have to work. Do you want to give them an extra vacation day for working that day or not?
They know they gotta work.
Yeah, would you take a day away if it was sunshine and 80 tomorrow and all the snow is gone?
It's too hot for me to work.
It'd be a beautiful day. It'd be a beautiful day in February, but we take a day away because they didn't have to come in. I don't know. I'm having a problem with
So
this.
their argument, some of them, is that, well, some staff got the day off and got paid, while I had to go out and still plow the roads.
They should work in that department. I'd say.
Day for the job.
I know it's a jail. We all signed on the line for employment. And we work Christmas, New Year's Day, we've done doubles on Christmas, and that was all part of the job description. Teachers were off, counselors were off, that was all part of what we signed for. And we had perks because of that they did it, but we still had to be in that jail for that time period. I don't see how it's any different for a plow driver. They signed on with a CDL to plow the roads. You don't plow the roads unless it's snowing.
But I know you're using a plow driver, for example. I know it applies to some, but wouldn't we negotiate that in the contract?
No,
Would it be something to negotiate?
we could, we could certainly do an MOA with the unions if the board decided they wanted to do something like this. It is giving them a benefit.
It's not something you just give.
Yeah, I see what Dana's saying. It's something-
Use it as a negotiating.
They could ask for it, sure. Yeah.
Maybe not. Some are. But I think the question is, but then we run into that same
Right.
problem again, where a non-union person gets a better benefit than the union. I think we just recently had something with that.
Yeah. And sometimes union employees
I
get
actually think
benefits.
I don't think I'm prepared to, I know I don't have a vote in this committee, but I'm not prepared to make a decision on this today. I actually want to find out how schools do it too, because how do the schools do it when they have a snow day? they still have plow drivers go in, they're expected to work. They don't get a vacation day or an extra day off. So I'm not at all comfortable making a decision because I just think like there's a lot of variables that this could impact people differently.
Good point.
So I guess the question is, then do we have a motion to table it?
So, yeah,
So
so.
Brian, Lance, second by Lance and Ned.
No.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
That's all that I had.
Any other business? Going once? Going twice? Going three times? We are
I need a motion to accept the January 8th minute. Moved by Sam, second by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Treasurer report, please.
So very first page, I'm not gonna ring any alarm bells yet. I wasn't happy to see the first number of this year be a negative number.
I think we're just bailing out the city. It's okay.
Stay tuned. No promises, good or bad, but I was not particularly pleased to see a negative on the first one. Especially Mr. Hogan.
Any theory on wildflower? Fuel?
It's between, it's December.
It's entirely possible because I know that I paid considerably less during this reporting period. So,
The month of December, right? It's December 1st, to 31st. I don't know.
and I mean, I've always seen lower prices in like Saratoga County, but I've seen significant lower prices in Washington.
Too.
So, yeah, I'm not complaining as a consumer, but from a fiscal officer in the county, maybe not so much.
I wonder if people are shifting their sales earlier in November because they're having better sales in November and not sales in December. Which shifts the sales from December to.
Well, a lot of the shopping is done.
Well, the other thing is we've seen a lot more like early Black Fridays. I mean, they were having Black Friday sales in June or something this year, I think. So,
The fuel is the biggest revenue.
Right.
Yeah, fuel.
Even if everything is stationary, that increase.
Yeah,
year over
here's
year,
19,000.
our fuel prices drop
I think
25%.
65.
this time last year.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Pretty close.
Or not take 20% off your tax.
So the 19,000 might actually be an increase or less of a decrease with your argument.
All right,
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there.
all right, I'm done being brilliant today.
So
it
you
down.
have to call you
You
to
pick
ask
up tomorrow. Could you share it with the rest of us, though, please?
Check it out.
I like the brain dead comment earlier. It's a good place to have brain dead decisions. A no brainer.
No,
I like that. It's a good room for that.
And then
Get it, John? No brains?
I got it.
You don't expect to have a.
Okay, I got one Oswald because I wanted to be first. I heard.
one last thing.
Yep.
Right.
You got one left.
He's at, oh, you got one last thing? Okay.
If you go to the second to last page. It'll say page 1 of 4. That's the budget by function. Right now, we're already doing better net cost wise than we did last year, and I still have $4 million that I know is not yet reported at year end. It only gets done once a year. So out of that 6.9, I expect that to be as low as 2.9, and I'd like to see it be even more than that when we get all the fourth quarter claims done. So there is a world, a realistic world, where we at minimum will maintain our fund balance. In a best case scenario, we won't use all of the 3.8 that you appropriated. So restoring some of the 3.8 that you had planned on using, there's a chance we won't use some of that. It won't be a significant, we're not gonna grow fund balance, but there is a chance where we won't use all of the 3.8 that you projected to use. So I'm not taking my foot off the brake, not raising any green flags, but I luckily don't have to raise any holy
More
crap
red
warnings
flags.
at this point.
So your red flag is getting a little bigger.
My reddish flag is a little bit more,
Yeah, well,
but it is still red because even maintained fund balance is 5 million lower than the floor you set. So I'm gonna temper my good news with, but wait, it's still not the level that we're supposed to be at.
Pedal to the metal out.
Pedal
Is
to
that
the
it?
metal.
Keep saying.
Good.
Brian, into then, as you were.
We're in the first.
Am I up?
You're up. We have a, you're like a string jacket, so, but you're used to it. You're.
So why do you give them the crappy chair? Everybody else else.
Dan
Sit in the
Martindale
hot
said,
seat.
Dan Martindale said they take less time if they're that way.
Oh, so if you don't
I didn't
get
say
comfortable.
Like me, Brian, sit now.
I should refer to it as.
Brian should be in that chair.
I didn't even see the bus come.
These meetings would be shorter if we all stood.
Yes, absolutely.
You collapse, don't go there.
I would collapse.
Okay, so I just have a couple, corrected tax bills.
It's on the first page.
Yep, so I have one in Argyle, an exemption wasn't applied to a parcel that needed it, so we had to make that change. Granville, there was an exemption that was not applied, so there's a change there, and then Dresden. We are removing a sewer re-levy because the guy is actually not hooked up. Even though it was in the system, so he got billed for, it, but he's actually not hooked up, he's got a dry hookup, so we're gonna refund him his cost. And then with that, the entire sewer system in Dresden is being looked at to make sure everybody's on, who needs to be on and who's not on, who shouldn't be on. So,
Very good.
all right, any questions?
So, we don't have to move this information because it's under the fresh.
I do have a question that wouldn't pertain to this, but pertains to the other.
Okay.
Okay. There in New York State, veterans exemption that just passed for. That's something we need to think about this year.
We are not doing it at this time because exemptions are due as of March first, so throwing this at our assessors within a month left, not gonna happen. They are not also 100% worked out on this. I hear there's an amendment coming, so we were told to hold off of it at the director's level. But that will be something that we'll be reviewing late May, early June. To get ready for next year.
Was getting nervous for assessors.
No, we're good. This late in the game, by the time you get a public hearing and everything, it should be done by March first, and then at that point, nobody can apply for it. So we're just gonna wait until and get it done correctly and see how other municipalities work out with it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But one more thing on that too is I'm currently working on a analysis of how that's gonna affect the county. And just in the county portion of the exemption, from the numbers that I've looked at, it's gonna cost about $17 million more to shift those people that are at 50% up to even up to 65%. So it is not something, we have to look at everything and what it's gonna affect the entire county, and then on a town by town basis, but the county, it's gonna cost a lot more to do that. So more exemption money, that means less people kind of paying the
More
rest of it
shift,
back.
yeah.
Yep.
More of a shift.
So we just wanna kind of make sure, and that's just at the county budget, the county level, and then bring that down through the town budgets, the school budgets, it's gonna be a huge shift. So we just have to make sure, we're looking into options about, if we have to be a little more stringent on the income, because the way you calculate the income on the senior exemptions has changed in the past couple of years. It's now your net income or your adjusted income versus your gross. So we might be shifting some income requirements around maybe a little lower to kind of offset that the people that actually need this exemption are the ones that actually are getting it. So we're looking into all angles with it.
So pertaining to your office, there was two other things. The towns get letters for the census. And the way we've been doing that, Heather like handles that unless somebody from the town wants to handle that themselves, reach out to Heather.
So the reason why Heather handles it is because she's the one that's making all of the changes to the boundaries in the towns with Bill. So she's the one that actually knows if there's been a change to the town. We can let you guys do it on your level, but it's just one more thing on your plate, so we kind of just take care of it. Does anyone want to change that, or do you want to continue that Heather just takes care of it? Okay.
So you're gonna, you've probably all got the emails and wonder what the hell that's about, so that's why I'm bringing it up. The other thing is FEMA maps. There's somewhere in there, it tells us we have to pass a resolution that we accept them. Now, sometimes maybe I want to accept them, but that's, and they even got my address wrong and didn't send the map to Hebron, so it's very interesting. So that's the other thing is we probably need, I don't know that the county needs a resolution, but it would be nice. It's on the town level, so if we can, it would be nice if we could come up with a resolution, if FEMA would even give us a resolution that would say, hey, here's the one you need to pass.
That's what I was
So
gonna
that's
ask.
what we're,
So I
I
can
have-
reach out to see if there's other municipalities that have
Yeah.
passed one. The only reason why that came to our attention is because somehow town of Argyle's came to us. I don't know if you put it in
It's because they,
intermail or,
no, it's because they fight so desperately. They hand deliver shit to Argyle now.
oh. Okay, well, that's why it came to our radar that,
Okay.
but every town has to do it.
Well,
And I think it's in July, right?
Yeah, I could have.
I think it's by July or something.
Yeah,
So
we have
got a little
time.
time, we gotta make sure we all.
So I'll have,
You might not get FEMA funds if you flood it.
Yeah.
That's, well,
Well,
that would be what you'd be,
And if you're not qualified for the insurance.
right.
My question was, and I tried to call down, I had to call to Washington, is you have some that are still an undetermined, so those people will have to re-talk again to the FEMA as whether or not they can get off the flood or on the flood insurance program. There's, and so you had 2 or 3 different lists of property. You probably had huge lists. Yeah. I just want to make sure when we accept these, that we need to be notifying those people, or are they probably will get notified by FEMA, right? That they're, you know.
from how I understand it, is FEMA is letting those property owners know that they're now into the flood zone. I can check with Heather to make sure that that's 100% correct. I do not believe it's Heather that is the one notifying people. It is FEMA.
Yeah, I just want to make sure FEMA was the way you understood it, because that I was still confused even after
Yeah,
talking to
one
them.
time they told me I had to tell a guy that he had to fill his cellar with concrete. And I said, will you make that call? Cause I'm not making the call.
You're not the professional in my opinion.
We've seen it for years.
I went,
He's not professional.
You could have stopped there.
I just meant on that subject.
I don't really know what to do. I went with code enforcement and DEC. The 2 establishments. One was agreed, was above grade, and they still got that listed, and I argued, and I went to New York State, was there. And it still come through, so what do? Make your phone calls, and it isn't gonna make a difference.
Now, at some point, you have to get a surveyor to show
I
that
know,
they're
that's
wrong,
got
and
the
that
money
costs
out.
money. Usually to the individual.
Trying to do this, I've been with $2,500 just to go out and look at it and say, no, it's not in it.
So I would ask Heather if she has any suggestions or if she's heard anything from FEMA directly for property owners. So it's just, quick conversation with her.
Those are the 2 things.
If anybody's interested, I've been in contact with Matthew Foley, who was the one that came to the county and to our town a few times, with residents. And asking them to, this comes through the banking industry. I mean, if you have a mortgage.
Oh, yeah.
What they're gonna say is, well, your mortgage, in order for you to get this mortgage, you have to have flood insurance. And it's up to the landowner to do, it's prior to. But a lot of times they find out after they find out at closing, they don't do their own work. So we've tried to do a lot of education and sound about what this is gonna mean. And also, you could buy this insurance and you may not get anything for it, because the money's not there.
Yep. On the first page of an appraisal report too, that you get for a bank, it's right there.
Yeah.
The appraiser is asked whether or not you're in a flood zone, and then you have to add things in the addendum. When it comes to that, to protect the bank is basically the point.
So I am gonna meet with him, and if any other town wants to meet with them, and again, we can do that. I'll try to set up a date that remember,
Yeah, it's your best chance before you sign off, that's for sure.
Can you let me know too?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Miranda. Laura.
Let's see.
Thanks, Dad.
So do you want to start with,
Yes, whatever you have.
there's a problem. So, on the budget carryovers, we have the resiliency grant. So basically, this project has just been administration so far, but we're finally moving it up on it, so we just need to take money out of last year and move it over to this year.
Okay, what are we, B? Moved by Dave. Second by Sam. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Next one are the two Champlain Basin septic grants. So, because they changed water bodies that are eligible to have septics replaced, we've set up different years because eligibility is different. So these people within these areas can still get money. So we need to move both of them into this year's budget, and we are waiting from EFC to get the final numbers on a third one because they've added even more water bodies, so. But I don't have those numbers yet, so right now we just need to move the existing ones over.
Okay, so we're gonna do C first, motion. Moved by Jay, second by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried, and D is the same thing. Okay, motion by Sam, second by Lance Meyer. Any discussion on that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
East County Infrastructure Award, I meant B and some. Is that right?
No, we're doing something. We're just
No,
doing D.
infrastructure awarded.
Well, he said D, not B.
Since
D and D, you just.
here, they're the two septic grants.
Yeah.
They're both septic grants.
That's not what it says.
I
No, I'm in the resolutions
Yeah,
now.
I'm looking at the resolutions, I'm looking
That's
at
why
that thing, yeah.
I had fixed the resolution. So now you're on to the C.
So the next one is a CDBG, oh no, sorry, the County Infrastructure Award for White, again, I'm looking at the agenda for Whitehall.
So you
So,
can go up by,
yeah, so, no, I'm not,
all right, go by E.
Go by
CBDG, don't mess up our board.
okay, sorry. So that's housing grant, okay, yep, so that is a new grant, we still don't have the contract, but we are expecting any minute now, we need authorization. The chairman to sign it and put the 700,000 into the budget.
Moved by Dave, second by Sue and John, any discussion?
Laura, what does this grant do?
So it is, so we had in partnership with Pride Ticonderoga / NRDC, 500,000 to, work with senior low income housing to make some modifications to houses. So we closed out that grant in December. This is a new $700,000 to work countywide with, individuals who need housing repair, emergency repairs. Energy efficiency upgrades, whatever it might be, but it's based on low income, and senior populations.
Weatherization type stuff through the same one,
That-
through the same group.
Same group, yep. Infrastructure.
We need to do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
need a
chairman
motion for
used
that.
So moved.
Moved by Sam, second by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Or opposed. Tourism partners.
So this is basically our carryover, the ARPA tourism funds unspent from the original, I can't even remember what it was at this point. We've been working on it for 5 years. This is the last 197,000 that we have to have spent by the end of this year. Quite a bit of this money is actually going to go towards a lot of 250 and stuff, but we just need to move it into this year's budget.
Okay, so moved by Dave, second by Jay. Any discussion?
I just have a good question. So we have other organizations partnered up to do anything for 250th? West Penn, you know, of, or.
So yes, there are a lot of plans in play right now. There is actually a 250th committee. We're going to be doing a major event at the fairgrounds in, not 4th of July weekend, but I think it's the weekend after that. So yeah, there's a lot of activities that are happening.
I think a lot of different organizations too. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh. It still passed. Ask your question.
Number one, are you gonna get this passed? Or get this spent?
Yes,
They could come down the wire.
I know.
Number two, I don't want anything going on in the fairground, but I don't get to shoot a cannon.
They won't let us shoot cannons because there's, when there's horses on the fairgrounds, they don't like cannons. What are you gonna do?
Versus today.
They made me carry the cannon fire at Lynn stocks and they just let me shoot a cannon then. I'm getting sick of this non-cannon business. Wine.
It doesn't always go well, so maybe it's just best it doesn't happen.
Mine doesn't.
Okay. On to G.
Yeah, very well.
Okay, technical assistance fund. So this was the quote tribal money that was kind of sort of ARPA related, but it does not carry the same restrictions that the ARPA funds did. It's what we used to put the sign up in the front of the building. It was intended to be a technical assistance program. It was managed by the Lake George Regional Planning Board. We gave them $25,000. And in 3 years, they have had difficulty getting the takers to the program. So because I don't want to just throw money away, that program hasn't been as successful as we would have liked. Need to move this into this year. Now, I will have an ask. We don't need to do this now. We can do it later, but because I'm going to lose ARPA money for tourism, I would really love it if this money got put into the 2027 tourism budget. But for right now, it's got to be moved into this year. And then you as a committee can decide what.
So this one doesn't have to be spent at the end of the year.
It
This
does
one
not
has
have to
different
be
rules.
spent. You gotta get it in this year.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Moved by Mr. Malone, second by Mr. O'Brien. Any discussion on this?
You don't need it in this year, because you're not spending it this year.
Well, might need to move it so we don't forget it.
I don't think Laura's gonna let you forget it.
I didn't know if you had to have a record, it just wasn't with them
She can
anymore.
bring it as part of her 27 budget request, it's fine.
But you're bringing it back from the Lake Champlain, that's what I'm asking. It's not our own department, okay?
If we're not spending it this year, you don't need it.
Alright.
So we gotta put that one on the file and bring it back.
Make it part of the
Or
budget.
just make it part of the budget process.
Sure.
Okay.
Draw the motion.
Yeah.
I just got a question. So on the bottom of that, unless I'm looking at it wrong, it says county infrastructure award Village of Whitehall, $500,000. Is that part of that?
No, that's a new one.
It's a new one.
That's what we
It's
didn't have
squeezed in the
anything
middle.
for.
Yeah, I got
It can be G now because G just got ruined.
So what we're
No.
doing next is the Whitehall.
Whitehall one. Yeah.
Okay, what happened with the Whitehall one? So there was a new program in last year called the County Infrastructure Program that allowed counties to apply to Empire State Development for $500,000 in infrastructure project. Problem is, this had to be like the last piece of funding for a project that was ready to go. All of our projects were so big that that last $500,000 wasn't going to carry us to closing. So because Whitehall was having significant water infrastructure problems and had the funding in place, the county chose to allocate those fundings, that money to Whitehall. So we did that, but it's a little bit different because we're acting as the pass-through. So there was an MOU that was structured between Whitehall and the county, which with Dan's authorization has been signed. But there's still contractual documents that the county, because the award is technically to us, are going to have to sign. Similarly, we're pass through, which means the money is going to come into our account, and then we're eventually at the close of the project, going to get that money to Whitehall. So we need authorization for the chairman to sign the relevant documents for this grant to accept the money that then, based on the MOU between the town and the county, will eventually go to the town.
So do we end up fronting money for the project until the money comes through? Or is that not an issue?
That's my same question.
So there, in the emails, when the MOU was discussed, I asked that question. I also asked the question about what about criteria like they have to meet the 30% minority women-owned business grant. If they don't meet that criteria, I don't want it to come back on the county. Matt Fuller assured everybody that those things were not a conflict. There is one fronted piece of money, which is like a 2%, I think it's like $2,500 fee that has to go in. But again, I think according to that MOU, and that's up to Dan and Matt Fuller, that can be arranged so that it comes from Whitehall, not the county. But the MOU is already done that essentially says everything that the county has to do, the town is going to have to be responsible.
So your take, Dan?
What I remember.
So the short answer is we aren't fronting any money. We're just getting the money in the end.
I will have to look at it and then I can answer the question.
Are we sure it's not a reimbursement grant where we spend it and get reimbursed?
No, it is a reimbursement grant.
So we're fronting money.
No, we're fronting the money. So the short answer is yes.
This is not to the town. It's to
The village, I'm sorry, you're right, the village.
And way I understood it, the sewer district could have used that money if they had applied, but they didn't apply. So that left it so that the village could apply for the sewer.
The only entities that could apply for that money are counties. So because the county didn't have a project to apply for, and we didn't want to lose the money to another county, we said, let's make good use of it and help Whitehall out with the whitewater.
Yes.
Hoping your village helps your town.
Okay,
They will.
just for clarity, the treasurer said is that you're gonna have to write the checks and then collect the money, or
Yes.
the village gonna have to and write the checks and, I mean, are we budgeted for 500,000 on this pay and then give back, or?
That's what we're gonna need is a budget amendment for the 500,000, but we're fronting the money until we're reimbursed.
So there's a form called the sources and uses reporting form. Sources and uses have to go out with every grant, and that basically says what's the money for and where's it coming from. So what this document says is that the project is 2.3 million in construction renovation, 598,000 in architecture for a $2.9 million project. The ESD grant is 500,000 of this, and the Village of Whitehall has an infrastructure and jobs grant, a WQIP grant, and then the rest of it is a loan. So basically, they've accounted for 2.4 million, and the 500,000. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. We're gonna have to have discussions with Whitehall as to whether the county fronts that, because this is a reimbursement grant, or whether Whitehall adds that amount to what they're borrowing, and then it gets repaid when we get reimbursed.
I like Plan B.
Figured out.
Yeah, I like Plan B too, God bless you.
And that's gonna be my question. Do we have the $500,000 to front for not knowing when the money's gonna come back in? Do we have that kind of money to front at this point?
Or we're about to go to borrow for DPW stuff, and I suppose we'd borrow the same thing if we knew. But we should have that, we should know that before we borrow. That would be best.
Yeah.
Right, we need to have MOU that the village is borrowing from the county with whatever covering our interest costs, so we're reimbursed.
One of the scenarios that could play out, and Laura can find this out very easily. It's part of a larger project, a $2.3 million project. They might pay a vendor $125,000 through their audit. They then send me that voucher for $125,000, which I then send to the state. There is a scenario where the county's not out any money, but the village sends me a copy of what they paid the vendor, and I get that reimbursement through my, right? So the best case scenario for me is they pay the vendor, and then I request a reimbursement for them. That's the best case scenario, which is a possibility.
Because it's about 1/6 of the total project, so as things go in, you can be getting that money back.
But ESD only reimburses at the end of a project. They don't do interim reimbursement.
But they might very easily be able to send me $500,000 in bills. It won't take that long for them to rack up half.
That's true, yeah.
So there is a scenario where we would just be the pass through and not front it, but I'm not more in front of the, based on past experience.
Are you running for mayor next year?
No. So what?
Running away.
I'm confused. So what you just said is different than project completion. Okay, what I've heard is you're gonna do the submittal for the 500,000 prior to project completion. Is that, okay? Those are two different things. So it's
Yeah.
going to depend on what ESD's requirements are, and I would have to look. Typically, they want project completion before they reimburse. But this is a new grant, so I would have to go look and see what is stated about it.
So do we have any action to take until we are clear on how this is gonna flow?
We could move it to the whole board and have answers by then. Or,
So Al, do I understand, did you get an invoice from somebody and that was kind of what made us realize that we'd never put it in the budget?
No, I got a rather strongly worded email from the village mayor that he had been informed by his council that I was holding 500,000 of his money hostage.
Yes,
Which is how
I can agree to that.
which is how I found out about the grant, because it's one that was not being administered by us or the planning board. There was actually a outside agency.
Labella is administering the
So
grant.
Labella got handed this. And so I only recently got into the loop of this. So that's why I'm asking some questions now. I apologize.
Can't imagine.
And they asked us to tell the guy in a loop, but I just bounced them.
In all fairness to Laura, she did come to committee and get permission to apply as lead agency. Those steps were all there. Well, whoever, there was a request of the committee to apply as lead agency, and that was granted. But then we didn't hear anything after that. I hadn't seen the award letter. I hadn't seen a contract. I didn't even know that Labella had been retained until.
Did the county get the award letter?
The award letter was sent to the chairman and the county administrator last July.
So it was in the process since.
It was in the building, but it wasn't until I got contacted from the mayor that it was on my radar.
so, yeah,
This
You
should,
didn't get contacted before that?
No, sir.
this shouldn't come as a surprise because we got the same guy that handles the construction for the town of Fort Ann and county facility up in Fort Ann.
although this is Labella's the same guy,
Same guy, yeah. And we still got stuff up there, just hasn't been done. We got a whole
punch list.
punch list of it, so.
So
Not a surprise.
that being said, and it's not announcing and administering it, is Labella pulling out administration fees while they're sitting on this?
So when Beth came to committee and asked the county if they would do this to help Whitehall, I asked the question at the time, is Washington County gonna have to do the administration on this grant? And she said no. And the reason is because Labella is already doing the administration for the other Whitehall projects. Labella and the village came to an agreement that they were going to go ahead and take on the administration of this grant as well. I don't know if they're being compensated, but because they're working on the rest of the projects, they're just handling it all.
Maybe they're in the 500,000.
It is 500.
I think they're also in charge of the dissolution of the village.
No.
In charge, the village is paying for that.
I mean, if you wanted to pass the budget amendment out of this committee and have answers before the full board, Laura and I can definitely make that happen.
So the county doesn't have the money.
No, sir, it's a reimbursement grant. I wouldn't have the money anyway.
So part of the reason I think this got lost in the works is, well, not really lost in the works, but ESD is different than most other state agencies. Most state agencies, they award you a grant, they send you an award letter, and then they send you a contract. ESD sends you an award letter and says, go do your stuff and we'll talk about the contract when the project is done. So there was never a contract to sign, which is why it never, even though we got the award letter, there was no follow-up because we couldn't put it in the budget because there was no contract, so.
Yes.
Without a contract, what is the guarantee that they're gonna reimburse?
It's in the award letter.
Which usually they do abide by at least.
Well, normally I have a contract.
Well, eventually. We have another situation, same thing, where you got an award letter but no contract.
I'll make a motion to move it to the full board and hopefully we'll see understand how the money flows or is gonna flow. when we get to that point.
Second by Sue and Sam. So my other question is time of the essence?
According to
I
the
mean-
Whitehall mayor, it is.
Well, that's not, well, I just wondered if we don't have the answers we want, can this come back in March? That's, if it gets voted down or gets tabled at the meetings. Or is there a date we're up against?
I'm not clear, I haven't had conversations with
Yeah.
the Village of Whitehall in terms of where they are in the process.
So maybe you need to find that out. Who's
Project's not done, is it?
Well, one of the benefits of having a contract is the contract also aligns the timeline.
Yeah.
Like, we have to know what period of time this award is for.
Well, based on that sources and uses, they've got 2 other grants, so those 2 grants will have a timeline, so there will be dates, I just don't know what
No, I
they
mean,
are.
this 500,000,
We'll have a date.
normally we find out in the contract what the reporting period is. So we don't want to claim anything outside of that reporting period.
We move it to the board, and if we have to table it at the board.
Right. And that's why I'm asking the question, so she can find that answer.
But either way, there's not a scenario where I just send 500,000 to the village. That's not how it works.
And get, this is the one you said you did.
That is a vote forward thing.
He has my number.
Yeah. I've seen this. It's been a while since I looked at it. I didn't, so it's gonna be on.
So you need some time to review that anyways.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, so I have 2 more things that may not have actually made it to the agenda. One of them is, I guess we'll do the slick fiber one. So we talked at, ag planning about the fact that through the ARPA broadband program, since we had intended for that money to be used to reimburse homeowners who did not get fiber, but could get Starlink, it was gonna pay for their equipment. So we did have a few takers, but what has since happened is Starlink has essentially reduced their equipment costs to nothing. So therefore, we're not providing any benefit. This is ARPA money. We are obligated to spend it on broadband, and we are obligated to spend it by the end of the year, or it goes back to the federal government. So I had asked the committee to give me permission to reach out to the fiber providers in the county and see if they could edge out where they might be able to edge out their network that would got us some additional fiber passes. The entity that did reply, Verizon couldn't do it, Spectrum I didn't get anything from or didn't hear from. Slick Fiber came back with a proposal for $457,000. Now, I don't know, Al's gonna have to tell me exactly how much is in that account. It's about $500,000. I think this is actually less than what is in the account. Because there's still some, I haven't seen a reconciliation of the regional planning board's 4th quarter for last year. So the idea would basically be that for that $457,000, Slick is going to serve 70 passings. I believe these were all in your packets that are in the town of Greenwich, Granville, and Argyle. The other criteria for this is part of the reason that we are not getting new fiber passings in the county is National Grid is still holding up the process. Permitting times are right now averaging 2.5 years. So there's no way that anybody can pull more fiber by the end of this year if it's taking 2.5 years to even get a permit to put fiber on the pole. So this fiber will have to be buried in the right of way. So what the proposal says, if you had a chance to look at it, is that Slick will go into each town with where these addresses are, look at the right of ways, make sure that there's no problem with where the fiber is going to go. And then essentially provide fiber-based services to all of these addresses on the list. But again, if we don't spend this money, it goes back to the federal government. So I recognize that there are many of us who still will not have fiber, maybe ever. This at least gets 70 additional households for fiber.
For $457,000 of county money.
No, of ARPA money. ARPA broadband money, it's ARPA money.
Yes, I don't want to use it on that.
Minor point, but the Greenwich addresses, I think half of them or a little more than half of them are actually Easton.
In Easton, yeah.
And a huge chunk of them, I think there's 15 or 18 of them are in my town. And just so everybody knows, my address is.
So this was, these were, I have a spreadsheet that's about 5,000 columns long, and I didn't think you wanted to go through all of those. So this was basically printed off on, I think these are all mailing addresses.
No, I just throw everything, my address is on there and it is in my top, not great. Great.
Divide that up, how much is for each house?
So each house would have to pay $205,000 worth of materials to get our investment back on it.
Yes.
So, whatever. We
So-
can't use the money for anything else.
We cannot use
Because
the.
you've already
We
committed
can't.
to internet broadband.
So just to give you the scale and scope difference, the average cost, and Slick is putting a little bit of money into this as well. But the average cost per county investment per passing on these 70 homes is 6,000, right? The most recent, through the federal BEAD funding that's come to the state that was supposed to get fiber for everyone, which is gonna get fiber for almost none of us, it's gonna be Starlink. But the bid on the county addresses that are in the Granville, Whitehall, Hampton area, which I think is going to fall through. And the reason that I think it's going to fall through is that those costs were $26,000. So if we can do this for $6,000 versus the state is looking at spending $26,000, that's a pretty incredible difference.
And, okay, for each house, it costs $6,000, you're saying? And then they've got to pay on that monthly, correct?
No,
No.
no, the houses will pay nothing, the grant's gonna pay.
Well, okay, so what happens, so this is nationwide. What happens is you take fiber and you put it on a pole or you bury it and it goes by a house. House says, yes, Mr. Provider, I want to sign up for services. There's no obligation that they do. But the providers get credit for every household that they pass because now that household has the ability to sign up. So the household will still have to pay monthly service bills. And Kevin did give you on here, based on speeds and the fact that they have low income qualifier programs for $30 a month, those would apply as well.
Oh, I'm paying 3,800 something, spectrum every month.
So what this is if you're looking for, you know, the highest speed and best possible pretty much anywhere is 1,000 by 1,000. That's $95 a month. If you're low income, it's 25, it will actually would be like $29.95.
This is for like Wi-Fi,
Broadband, yes,
broadband, okay.
access to the internet.
So we started to put the ARPA money into into this to begin with. We had a different vision of what was supposed to take place, that was going to give us more coverage for that money. That's, I think, why we dedicated it into it. And I'm gonna have to stick with it now. But it's changed so much over the course of time that, you know, it's, the expense has gone up. So
We're also at a,
I don't mean that negatively too.
Right.
I'm just saying that whole market is.
So-
Doing
and we did get to a high percentage that's actually covered in the county.
There are, depending on who you ask, but I'm gonna say there are probably still about 1,500 residents across the county that do not have access to internet except through satellite. I think it actually may be a little bit more than that. And are you counting the hunting camps, et cetera? But in terms of full-time residences, it's probably around 15.
Dana,
Slick's investing 500 per house, we're investing 6,000 per house.
Yes.
They're the only ones that responded.
only ones that are interested.
Verizon basic, so what happened was there is currently a bid from Verizon to cover, and it's around 200 houses in the Whitehall, Hampton, Granville area. But they proposed a cost of $26,000 per passing. The state approved that. And then after federal elections and administration changed, the NTIA basically rejected all of the rules that had been put forth under the Biden administration and said, you need to wipe everything out and we're going to give you new rules. So the new rules basically say that they don't, under the Biden administration, Starlink was not eligible. Under the Trump administration, it is. So a significant number of what was going to be fiber passings got reallocated to Starlink because of those high cost per passing. I mean, $26,000 is a lot of money to invest in getting broadband. So there's no doubt about that. It's a lot of money.
So wasn't one of the reasons a lot of the companies backed out from bidding was the fact that if you're on free lunch, you get the low price?
So that was another Trump administration change. The state had instituted a rule that said for low-income households, every provider had to offer broadband service at $15 a month. One of the rules for that was, how do you qualify? Well, anybody who is on free lunch qualifies. The entire county is on free lunch. So what I got from Slick is, if you tell me that I can't charge more than $15 a month, I have to shut down my network because my operating costs are way above that. Since then, part of the BEAD structuring and part of that NTIA change in the rules was to forbid states from being able to put a dollar value on low-cost broadband. They did say you need to offer it, but they didn't say it has to be at $15. It just said you have to have a plan.
Did it change the fact that if you're on free lunch, you get a lower price?
Yes, changed it. But by that time, the BEAD proposals were already out there.
So if you're going by the free lunch program, they're all getting free lunch, so then it was everybody.
Yeah, it changed, it
$1
changed.
million a year, you get free lunch, you're qualified.
Yeah.
I was so impressed with the state of New York. It's just this horrible leadership. They just can't get out of their own way.
Anyway. So we need a motion to move that.
Do we have a motion?
I don't think we did.
We, motion.
Moved by Sam, second by Lance. Any discussion on any of that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay. I don't know, I'd take the money back, Darpa, I'm done with these people.
Okay.
You know what, it comes with strength, there's always gonna attach strength to all this crap, just get rid of it. It's not taking a lot of-
Push us to see.
Yeah, then we gotta stop taking this money.
All right, one more
Unfortunately,
thing.
you wanna live in a rural county like Washington County,
No.
you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. That's why people choose to live here, they choose for the rural setting, they have to understand the consequences of the rural setting. That means the county doesn't provide internet to you.
Yep. Okay, last thing. The 250th celebration. I told you at Ag Planning that we had been told by the State Department of Education that we have an allocation of $15,000 to spend on 250th celebrations. So I'm again, kind of going back to every agency has their own process, but what they gave me a week to say, do you want this money or it's going back to education? So we said, yes, we wanted it, approved it at committee. Their next step was to send us an agreement letter that says, you've basically got to sign this agreement letter, which says you're going to give us reports, you're going to do 250th stuff, etc. Once you sign the agreement letter, then they give you the contract. So I sent this to Dan to look at. One of the concerns is the letter says your county is set to be allocated X. So they didn't give us a dollar amount, they gave us an X. So I contacted State Department of Education and said, I was told this was 15,000. And they said there are two formulas based on school population. It was too hard for us to put out two sets of letters, so we just put out an X on everybody, but I can confirm that your allocation is 15,000. So basically, in order to move towards accepting that 15,000, we need permission for the chairman to sign this document.
So it's a resolution. Moved by Dave. Moved by Lance, or second by Lance. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Yeah. Stop taking the state's money.
Good, thank you.
That means he's gonna get all somewhere next and hope for the best.
We got X.
I wasn't happy about it. That's why I said it.
It's like, yeah, you can't keep people, if we can't afford it, we can't afford it. State wants to give these little depths. It's bankrupt everywhere else. They really do. $15,000 in the state of New York for 250 commemoration. Can't imagine where that money could be used better.
Birthday party, mine.
250?
Yeah.
Can't buy
Do we have a Sasquatch festival? Okay,
You make it that far, John, somebody else.
so I think we're gonna move right along and go in order of the resolutions, and everyone will have to remind me if we're missing anything in the agenda. H, Board of Elections to carry over unspent election grant. Move by David, second by Sam.
Questions?
Any question?
Who governs mail? The vote by mail? Is that a state or federal program? Or requirement?
Every state.
Do they fund it completely?
They've got it currently overfunded what it costs us to do the plan.
So far it's overfunded?
Current,
Can you let us know when it's not funded?
absolutely.
100%?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. I, as Board of Elections, carry forward refund prepaid cellular plan. Moved by Dave, seconded by Lance. Discussion.
You can pass this one, but you may see it pulled from the floor pending my review.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey,
There you go.
Change your name tag to Dana.
well,
I think we have to take it through. Items.
there's a question on it.
Yeah.
But it's my fault. There's a question, so don't come to the department.
We'll vote nay on Elmo.
They know now.
I agree with
Hands out. Not a chance.
I agree with Dana. I think at least one of us ought to vote nay on this free money. Not everyone.
Okay, J, Public Health Carryover Unspent Early Intervention Administration Grant. Moved by Dave, seconded by Lance, Tim Fisher. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. K is Public Health Carryover Unspent Child Passenger Safety Grant. Moved by Sam, seconded by Dave O'Brien. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. L is Public for Dual Settlement Funds. Motion. Mr. Fisher, seconded by Mr. Lang.
It's Jewel.
They think company.
The company that makes the
Got it,
videos.
thanks.
What was it, Dan? I'm sorry.
That's
the company that makes
for
favors.
Valentine.
Gotcha. Any discussion?
Is this, settlement, is it dedicated money for anything?
It's restricted
It is restricted.
It's always restricted.
to, awareness and prevention of smoking of vapes.
So wonderful. Money
Just spend money to tell people it's not good for you.
Yes.
Okay, good. Can't imagine where this money could have been spent.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Carried. M, amend budget to carry over unspent opioid settlement regional abatement fund. Moved by Dave, second by Slang. Fisher. Any discussion?
This is community services money, not county money.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. And is the mental health budget 100% state aid? So moved by Dave. Second by Mr. Fisher. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And. Oh. Mental health, 100% state aid. Motion by Mr. Fisher. Second by Mr. Lang. Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. B is DSS OFA alignment expenses with revenue. Moved by Dave. Second by Mr. Fisher. Any discussion on that?
Just gonna increase the budget by 3180 out. So this is just moving monies that are already in the budget over to the OFA side, so. I really wanna thank everybody for doing this, because we beat the net cost drum here all the time. This is gonna help you give a better view of how much of the costs are actually Gina's and how much are actually DSS. Right, so this will give you a better view of how we're actually spending.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Q is budget for shelter arrears aid.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lang. Is there a second? Sam and Mr. Fisher and Sue. Discussion on this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. R is to amend the budget for state training school. Family assistance, state training, OCFS placement.
I really hate to have you name this type of this.
Yeah.
This is a comptroller name, not our name. It's in no way a state training school. These are the juvenile detentions. Just to be clear, which we also don't have any control over.
Oh, it's state training school.
Yeah.
They fix them. Send them back all educated.
Sure.
You making a motion or discussion?
Motion for discussion.
Okay, here's a motion. Do we have a second? Mr. Fisher? Discussion.
State training school is juvenile delinquent. This is a mandated program.
This is
This is the person who gets placed in detention after several shots at probation.
Mandated by the state of New York, right?
The placement is not necessarily mandated per se. When you do placement, you can either place them in DSS custody or OCFS custody. OCFS is generally reserved for the most serious offenders.
Who dictates that?
At the end of the day, it's to a certain degree, my recommendation in the court's order as to where the person should be placed.
Okay, but who dictates that's required of those two? Why can't we just release them to the jails? Or put them
Why
in
can't we
jail?
replace them with?
Because they're juveniles, they
Release
can't
them
go
to
to
the
a normal facility? Is that the idea?
We can't place them in a jail.
Okay,
That's what you're asking. We're prohibited from doing that.
who prohibits this?
The state.
Okay, does the state fully fund this?
Because we're gonna pay $123,000.
There you go. Okay,
So,
that's my answer.
and this is because we don't have a facility that we can control, like between the three county agreement, where we could cut costs by quite a lot.
That's where we would hope, yes.
Every time I drive by a Word of Life and it's empty, it was a school and it looks like a school. It's like, why isn't that being?
How about a specified wing with a jail that's just sitting there?
We had these discussions a couple days.
I'm gonna keep bringing them up every time.
I like it. Trust me.
And I know you are, but I'm hoping that this rehearing, the public rehearing here, that, you know, you can eventually make headway somewhere.
How many individuals assist?
There's that empty
Do we have it?
facility.
Dan amount, how many individuals?
This is one.
Just one.
Do it the most.
So what happens if we go to his?
Much like everything else, the state will probably take it from somewhere else.
We're trying to get this guy from jail. If we all work together, we can get Bob thrown in jail.
He's retained.
That's why you're on the
Might take him out.
Well, we can use the birthday money for his bail.
But that's Cassie's recommendation, Chairman, so she can step up there, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
These year's really good.
Dan,
She's behind you all the way there, Bob.
what time period does this even cover? This isn't a full year, is it?
No, it's not entirely a full year. What happens is they get placed for a year and OCFS usually cuts them loose without telling us. Early.
So they've been cut loose? This is your final bill?
This is, this final bill from, I want to say it's 2024. Part of 2025, and we just put this particular individual back in DSS custody looking for a place to take him in. He may have to go back to OCFS, but he can't find someplace. to take him.
Interesting. If he turns a certain age, can he go to the jail?
Once he commits a crime that he is 18 when he commits it, yeah. Or in limited situations, if he commits an adolescent offender offense, then they keep him in the youth court.
So meanwhile,
I would say his latest escapades all happened in Warren County, and because the county where he resides ends up being the dispositional county, and even if Warren County disposed him, since he lives here, we would eventually get billed for whatever replacement.
so for less than a year, we paid 200. This individual has cost us over 200,000. And now it's gonna start again for another year.
Hopefully not.
How old is this individual?
I believe he is currently 17.
At 18, when he turns
Only gonna have
18,
one
can
more
we
time.
open the door? Cause he's gonna step out and screw up. And then we
Right,
gotta
it's
get
gonna,
him.
he's
We
gonna.
can, there's also the option of placing him until he's 21, but I'll generally try not.
Is there standards on that for the age limit from 18 to 21 from the state?
Basically, what it comes down to is if the crime was committed. And I say crime in quotes because you don't have a record of committing a crime. If it happens before he turns 16, it can only be placed up until his 18th birthday. If he commits any juvenile act after the age of 16, he could conceivably be placed until he's 20. But you only do it for a year at a time. There has to be permanency hearings and all other things.
Because hopefully he turns it around before he's 21, is that the idea?
Yeah. That's the hope.
They think he'll turn it around. He's gonna have his come to Jesus moment before he turns. it.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to say too much more about this individual. I can't.
That was more of a rhetorical question.
Right, yeah, it didn't even.
He's not gonna have a come. That was my point.
Highly unlikely. In my opinion.
Don't worry, we're raising some more to follow when we help.
All right then, moving on, all in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Nay.
I don't know if that passed or
It
not,
didn't.
did that pass?
It didn't.
Didn't have to roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Skelly,
No,
Mr. Hogan,
No,
Larry.
Yes. It's amazing to look at these numbers and compare it to OMH and what we put into OMH, which is for hundreds of people. And we had this, so, but I mean, it's.
Mr. Rozell,
No, it didn't work.
Mr. Hall,
No.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
the Bacon,
No.
Pay your bills.
Mr. Hahn,
no,
Mr. Wayne.
No.
You gotta go and eat real bad.
better get suited up, Bob.
Oh, wait, New York City.
It's
We can't
defeated.
just get them thrown in before or
It's
after
defeated.
that.
Okay.
What's the
On
opposite of
to-
sanctuary city?
on
Can
to
we make
S.
ourselves the opposite of a sanctuary city? Call ourselves that county?
The radical
Well, I
city.
want to talk about that sometime.
Okay. I'll say that. Thank you.
Agriculture County.
Next slide.
Resolution S, budget for assigned council costs.
It's not, it's an.
Oh, I'm not making a motion.
You're gonna make a motion? Motion by Mr. Fisher, second by Mr. Wang, and we're rolling for discussion.
Are we?
Yeah.
It's 100% funded by the state of New York, that they mandate that service that we have to provide.
Yeah.
It's 100% funded.
It's not funded, it's mandated.
It's mandated.
So it's not mandated.
There you go. There's my answer. Okay.
Any other discussion?
Right. Compared to last year, how are we doing? About the same?
I would say we aren't much different because we haven't been able to recognize the revenue because we have to get in the right pots and whatever, but we're trying to get an answer. Hopefully we're gonna hear about that later today, whether we've got an answer yet or we're still working on it.
And let me clarify and answer. Portion of these costs are funded. They are not 100%.
Right.
That's what.
I just want to make sure.
No, I got you.
Clarify.
They're not 50%.
Real hearing.
I don't think the funding even hits it, that just to be clear.
No, it's not,
It's less.
but I don't want to,
than
make the impression that it's
50%
zero.
Of all costs.
Right.
Associated, it's less than 50%.
Correct.
Jay, did you have something?
No, I.
Is this all the money we get for sign council for a year?
This is.
No, this
just
is for the month.
Yeah.
It might be for 2 months, but it's, yeah.
Town council is a current billing, might not even be. Yeah.
The word, we're.
Is reducing this the reason why we're getting part-time people in there?
This is why we're doing the part-time, this is why we're looking at legal aid society, this is the whole gamut. This is why we're looking completely at this.
We're actually juggling because the state's not funding it 100%, which they should be. That's the bottom line. We have to do all the juggling because they won't fund their programs that they're mandating. That's the
Absolutely.
important thing that the public needs to understand.
And that's true in every category, not just here.
And me saying that out loud helps me sleep better at night when we have to lock Bob up. That's all.
We're not gonna throw away.
And they lock Bob up.
We're gonna let him out on weekends?
He's gonna stay in New York City forever.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay. Wait. Nice have it.
Figured that one passed. Don't think so?
Not a chance.
Okay, roll calls.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes. I think we gotta say the people report.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Mr. Skelly,
Yes.
Mr. Hogan,
No.
Mrs. Clary,
Yes.
Mr. Rozell,
No.
Mr. Hall,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Baker,
No.
Mr. Hahn,
No.
Mr. Wang,
Yes.
7 yeses, it's adopted.
Thanks for the time being.
Once I started, that's
Well, good.
It said it hasn't passed the board yet,
I'm afraid when we hit the brisket that tipped off, we just.
and I'll be a no.
We're not done yet.
We're gonna send you up the river.
Get another vacation.
I can't catch up with you, but it's time. We're on the T. Carry over unspent rural communities of practice grant. I'm moving.
Second.
Moved by Sam, second by Lance. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution U is budget to recognize pretrial services funding. Moved by Mr. Fisher, second by Mr. Wang. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. B is sewer district number 2.
Those numbers have been updated.
Oh, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Total is actually 28,150.80. And the categories, the 8110 account is 6,045.62. The 8120 account is 92.43 The 8130 account is 11,266.94. And the 8131 is $1,595.23. And that should total the 28,150.
Motion.
Second.
Who made the motion? Second by Nate? No. Or Mr. Wang? Any discussion on those?
Yeah, I have a question. It says appropriate fund balance, but at the end of the day, this comes from the people utilizing.
Right, it's their fund balance.
Therefore, okay,
Ratepayers fund balance.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Misunderstood.
No, well, that's why we ask questions, so we all understand you make better decisions.
Nothing.
Well,
Well-
I figured that. I just wanted to make it clear.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I mean, we know that people that are listening are, and it'll be all over Facebook here, you know.
Resolution W is capital project number 123, public safety microwave and equipment upgrades, targeting growth. Moved by Sam, second by Dave, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. X is amend public safety board, budget to carry over unspent EMPG grant. So moved by Dave. Second, Sam, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Brian, you know what they're applying that to?
I do not. You know, Melissa?
Don't.
I hadn't heard it. We rolled these a couple times. Didn't know exactly what they're doing. Apparently nothing.
We roll the balance every year.
Yeah.
The grant year is different than our calendar year, so there's always a piece that gets carried over.
Okay, I just wondered what they.
There's not much.
Left.
Well, there's not much of it left, right?
It was 4,000 left out of 26,000.
Yeah. So there's been in it.
I'd take an upgrade. Good. Suffering that.
Except for your living conditions when you get incarcerated.
You can't use it for an iPad at the jail.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Y is budget for community college tuition. Our estimate was off by $242, so we need to move $142. I think for Lindsay to pay.
And this will be the last one you see
Motion.
for the
By
college.
Mr. Lang, seconded by Sue, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. G. To amend the budget for treasurer's office postage.
Motion.
Moved by Mr. Fisher, second. And discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Resolution BEA, Community Development Fund. Need a motion? No. By Dave, second by Lance.
This is our pass-through money to LEAP. We got some 2025 bills that just came in that will need to be a budget amendment.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. BB, sheriff patrol cars.
Any good for newcomers?
I'll move it, but I got a question.
Okay. Moved by Mr. Hogan, second by Mr. Lang, in discussion.
Are these cars or these the Durangos?
Durango.
Last page shows.
So I was only, I thought he was gonna do trucks because they were less expensive. Is he not doing that?
I think the Durango was the least expensive.
No, the truck was less expensive than the Durango.
Really?
That's what the recollection I had. That's why I was like, why wouldn't we do that? It's less expensive. It works.
No idea.
It is a Durango, but I don't know.
How many are we buying?
You're buying 4 here and then 1 for the dog and the next one.
So I guess my question is, I wanted to ask, why are we buying Durangos? If he had proposed the idea of buying trucks because they were less expensive.
I thought it was Durangos in the budget. I think he presented the Durangos at the time, but I don't know.
I know we had discussions about trucks. I don't know why. If we switched to truck, because it was less expensive.
It was, he absolutely said it was less.
That's for patrol.
Yeah.
Or something.
These are all paid.
Yeah, they use them. I know, like I was telling,
Oh,
I remember when he
yeah.
was telling me, like out in Cache County, that's all they use is trucks.
No.
Similar environment to here.
In Vermont, they do too.
Yeah, so why wouldn't we do that? Works.
And they hold up. Oh, and they move.
It says,
Find
it
out.
says tree.
Yeah, we found that, you can see they found it. All the guys like the trucks, and the people not using them, or any, you know. I want to say the extensive emergency operations is, in everything like air station. And the lose, then I'll do. I don't know if that's a consideration or how much they have back in the back, that sort of thing. So,
It has been that, however, I want to go on record as opposing buying Dodges or anything.
Yeah.
They're just cheap.
Did we note that in the minutes? I don't propose this buying anything.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. I will find out. Mini bid, the K9 Durango. Moved by Lance, second by Dave. Any discussion on the dog ride? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Carry. And last is regular cab plow truck.
Motion.
Second. Moved by Lance, second by Dave. Any discussion there?
Yes. I don't believe that's needed for the job responsibilities for the duties that are being performed.
So this is a different one. We have,
Okay.
I think, if I'm following you, I'm sorry. This is the one, this is the 250 cab plow truck for buildings and grounds.
Right.
Not for the,
It's not
It's not the
we
one
have
for-
two for buildings and grounds.
Okay.
This is the one plow truck.
This is not the one.
And then coming next will be
Superintendent.
the one for
Grounds.
the superintendent.
Okay, gotcha.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. So now there's a second one or?
So then we have another one that does not require a resolution. That's why it's not in your packet.
It's in the budget.
Correct. And this is a 2,500 regular cab for the superintendent of public works. And this is a, let's see, I'm sorry. Buildings and grounds, I say corrected, for $43,580.50. And this is for, sorry, award for Nielsen. Getting that right?
No.
No, Sawyer, Chrysler Dodge, sorry.
Didn't do it right.
Right,
One of them didn't do it right. So.
right. This is Sawyer, Chrysler Dodge, in the amount of $43,580.50.
This is what I'm thinking about.
Yes,
That's the one, yes, okay. I know there was one of the two.
that's the one.
Yeah, I don't. He doesn't plow on a storm to storm.
And this isn't a plow truck.
No, well, it's equipped to plow. I
Well,
think-
because
I
when
think
they
the
hand
will
it
be-
down, they'll put a plow on it.
Yeah,
We had the discussion with Jamie yesterday.
okay.
So there no plow comes with it.
Yeah, so then we gotta expend the money for.
No, they take one, they recondition their plows all the time and move them.
So I guess my point is, it doesn't matter if we're gonna take the reconditioning and put on it, it's the truck itself. If he's not gonna be utilizing that truck to plow on a regular basis.
But it, right, so it won't get a plow until it gets repositioned, but you have to have it set up so it can plow when it gets
Right.
repositioned in 5 years or whatever it is. That's the whole idea. Jamie explained
I
it very
think-
well
I
yesterday.
think Supervisor Hall is questioning whether or not the duties that the superintendent actually provides to the county, if it requires the use of a 2,500 truck.
Right.
Correct?
And the fact of the matter is, most of the time when we've been plowing, he's not here. He's not even here those days, at the time they're doing the plowing. So I don't know why we'd invest in one to hand on down the road somewhere if we aren't gonna use it now.
If
So we
you,
have
if you
5
order a
years. It's five
truck,
trucks 5 years old by the time you start plowing it.
yes, because you don't need
My point.
a brand new truck to plow with. You'd rather the truck had some miles on it and then you use it because you're plowing the yard. You're not putting on miles once you start plowing the yards, because you're not driving all over, you're plowing the yard. So this isn't a new concept. It's the same it's been right along.
It's not in there yet.
Right, but I'm just trying to go, what did we just award?
That was a plow truck.
Brand new,
that
for
they need.
buildings and grounds.
Yeah,
You just told me that we were gonna use used trucks to
Right.
plow with buildings and
well,
grounds. So I-
because they're so bad off, this was the
Okay.
problem. That's why they're in the budget. We approved all this in the budget as far as I know, unless somebody can tell me different.
No, it was approved in the budget. It's budgeted money.
But we're gonna take a look at those things that we were, as we put them through, is it something that we need? So I don't know if we need something now to project out 5
Jamie,
years from now.
Jamie explained it was when we met with him
Well,
yesterday.
Yeah, we met with the supervisor in the carpool and he explained that when they purchased the new vehicle and it's given to the department head of that department, not to be used for what it could be used for later, which is plowing. and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, you're here, but the superintendent is going to use it for transportation to put miles on it, and then eventually it will be used for a plow truck. Whether or not that vehicle is what he really needs at this point in time, I guess we could let you interject on that.
I guess I don't know where the information comes that I have. In the big storms, I do, and if I got here at this campus, if I was somewhere else, it's wherever my guys need an extra hand. That's all the time truck. We get a truck without a plow, then obviously I won't be able to fill in that spot, but our guys are getting a plow truck. Our trucks are in rough shape, like we got behind schedule. As you know, before the foreman's of PW's trucks were really less, but 2 years back, we tried doing the teamer cab. Found the double cab, those trucks get so long in parking lots that we have to plowing like to leave bed starts and stuff like this, so. Some of those never made it into our locations, working on some really bad shaped trucks, so what I requested was, hey, can we put a truck for me that goes back into the location of our plow truck that will work for our guys? You know, like the foreman of the DPWs, they don't have a plow truck either. You know, the double cab. Now I have, you know, plowed and all help out, and then I'm in on a Saturday or something, and I'm gonna come to plow. Like that's.
But this truck isn't gonna have a plow anyway.
This will go to my guy.
This isn't gonna have a
As soon as
plow.
I, you know, as soon as they rotate another one in, this will go to my crew.
But you can't update a used truck reasonably to fit a plow with it if it didn't come with the plow
The
package.
plow package is like.
Yeah,
It's not that much.
I never bought a farm truck that I didn't get the plow package on just because everything's heavy duty. You just, that's whatever. So,
They're able to put a plow, how it works.
right.
When it goes to my, if it comes without it, then it's a big cost.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why we didn't accept the top bids, because that was, not plow ready.
The low bidder, who was Nielsen and Morristown, didn't meet the upfit requirements for the plow, correct?
Yeah.
Can't redo that after for salary.
Right.
And I don't know if this is the time to bring this up either, but I also want to bring up, I haven't seen in the minutes that the superintendent was granted permission for a take-home car, so I want to make sure that, you know, whether or not you decide to accept this bid and award this bid, I also would like to have permission for the superintendent to have a take-home.
It was done wrong back in 18 or 19. It went through government ops.
Yeah.
And when the first year I was budget officer, I think it was the very first meeting, I guess they decided finance was in charge of take-home cars. Well, forgive me for not remembering that, because probably had a lot more going on that meeting.
And we don't have many employees that have
Right.
take-home cars either.
So it was approved in government ops. It just needs to be approved here. That's where we're at.
Let's go back to truck, what you said. So is the truck coming with or without the plow?
Without,
Without, okay.
yes.
So we just got done saying that, I understand, we just got done saying that the plows change over the years, so if that's the case, how are you gonna buy a blade for it or a package for it if that package changes on the truck?
Because you already have trucks of the same age that are being bought today. Yeah,
Still
no,
doesn't make- still doesn't make
and
sense to me.
that's the way Jamie explained it, was they rebuild everything. They don't buy new plows for the most part. They're buying one truck this time with a new plow, but they rebuild them because it's a way of saving money. See, he seems to be on top of his game. He's done a good job from like the time.
Do we know where the truck is going that he's currently driving with the plow on?
To buildings and grounds.
Yes, and they have to sell, I think there's one in so.
So Buildings and Grounds is getting his truck and a new truck, and he's getting a new one.
Yes.
Some are going out the door that are done.
They have 3 or 4 plow trucks in buildings and grounds right now that are very old. Over 10 years old. I can't remember the years. but-
2012,
Okay,
2014, I think.
So the plow will stay on his current truck. So
correct.
it's
Yeah.
staff,
Yes,
the new truck will go to staff, and he'll get a new truck without it.
correct.
And the investment to have it set up plowing now is $900 extra.
He's currently driving a truck.
Right.
That's going to staff. and they're
Right.
getting a new truck,
Okay.
so there's 3 trucks
Yes.
in play.
Yes.
And we are being told that truck is set up, plow package.
Yes.
And 5 years down the road, when we go to put a plow on it, plows that they're remodeling is gonna fit that new setup.
Yep.
I think it's similar to the idea of they bid the same Dodge or Ford or whatever, because they already have an inventory of parts, so if they stay with the same type of animals,
So
they have, they can keep moving things on.
Hey, Matt, sorry about it, but you just said that you currently help out when you're needed, correct? That's because you have a truck with a plow currently. And now you're getting a truck without a plow, so you're no longer gonna be available to help.
Well, unless it's a plow truck that's empty. You
Well, that plow truck you've got's going to somebody to plow with.
Right.
So if you
But we're losing the equal amount of trucks. We're not gaining a truck. In my overall fleet for the buildings grounds, we're not gaining a truck.
No, they're just that bad.
3 are going out of service.
And 3 are being cycled down into
Yeah,
service.
We're being cycled down.
So,
Wait,
go ahead, Dan, sir.
I know I've been over this with Jamie. We're losing trucks. We're gonna be losing trucks. They go out of service, they're gonna go in the auction.
They're selling 2, buying 2.
Right, there you go.
Right, they're gonna,
Or are you gonna lose one plow?
We're gonna lose my plow.
yeah, so
Which
that's
I guess-
kind of counterintuitive, right? I mean,
you won't be doing the plowing.
I mean, they're buying a truck with that upfit
But it's
package,
ready to
But it
go.
doesn't
So
actually have
basically,
plow.
they-
but do we have a plow to put on your truck is what I'm wondering?
You will have by that time.
that's what that's where-
Yeah, I don't know if that's the intention, that would be a
I don't
I
think
would
there'll
have to
be,
look at the plow inventory right now, because lots of times he doesn't sell the truck with the plow, truck goes, plow stays. But this kid, you need to be able to, even if he's gonna have an old plow to put on my truck or whatever.
without the
He
kid. it
needs
won't do
this,
it.
right, it's the
See,
harness and everything.
understood that part. It just was confusing when you said you're getting a truck without a plow. It's got a plow package. Yes, you did. You just said it.
Yes.
And you said I help out when I can because I made the assumption that you have a truck with a plow, not just the plow kit.
Currently right now.
You will no longer have that. So it feels like
I don't assume there'll be any
We're
less
dropping
amount
down.
of plow trucks.
I have a premonition. I have a premonition that one or both of the trucks that we're selling have plows on them. And that one of those plows will end up on this truck.
okay, that answers
I have a
it.
premonition.
You got you.
Thank you.
That's what I was gonna ask.
That's kind of where we're at.
I have a premonition.
Okay. How do you spell
PLOW.
IT.
The 8-year-old plows that we're selling the truck for or older aren't compatible with the new plow packages.
Probably one of them.
Right.
They're all 2 years older, like, it's the whole
it?
concept. of-
Yeah. Junk is still
Our goal
junk.
that we do,
Junk
the
has
older
to
ones Cycle out, but the older one will match up with the older plow, probably they'll put a newer plow on mine. Matching. In my
I
eyes.
can't
will be
spell
done.
premonition.
So see, there will be a plow on the new truck.
Premonition.
Premonition.
So,
I'm confident that Jamie's doing his job. I like it. He seems to really have the numbers down and everything when you put him over it, so.
And saving and rebuilding is cheaper than buying.
So,
all favor?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
That's cool. Signing
Yeah.
is going in for.
Okay, now I have an other from
I have.
the county attorney.
I have 2 quick budget amendments.
Okay.
Whether just.
I defer to the treasurer.
I have 2 quick ones, with Campbell, they were just brought to me this morning.
His too.
My taxes and county owned property for 2025. Has one lingering bill that's gonna leave me, $1,900 short. And so, I'm hoping there's enough in contingency to just cover that 1,900.
I believe there is.
The other one is I need $500 in the 1362 department, and I can move that from the 1364 department. So that would just be, I think we just did one of these last month, and another bill came in the interim. So, that's gonna be moving from 1364 to 1362, so just a transfer between departments. And that one's $500.
And the other one's coming from contingent.
The other one will be 1,900 from contingent.
Okay, so motion to move both of those by Jay, second by Dana. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And now we're on to the county attorney.
I've got a question first.
Sir,
After a half hour discussion about the trucks, did we have to vote on that at all?
We did.
We did.
Okay, that must have been.
In a premonition.
you were spelling.
Spelling premonition.
Passing it through my mind to see where I started.
Again, so we have it on record. Third time that allowed to have the take home truck.
Yes, yes, and Melissa confirmed that.
I got one with the old minutes, like, punch twice.
Melissa did confirm.
Melissa can confirm
She
that.
said it was for both things.
And Matt, you and I are gonna have to catch up if you've got a take-home truck, so
Not that you.
I haven't seen it yet. I was out.
I got after him, yes.
Yep.
Had the whip out.
All right, I'm requesting a budget amendment from my 14/21/21.55 account, 25 budget, which has $71,249.38 in it. Of $6,000 to my A 14/20/4080 consultant account. I got a couple of bills from Harris Beach for the tax foreclosure litigation. About $3,190. I've got a couple bills from Fitzgerald Morris for $2295.12. Which total $5485.79, and that's gonna transfer 6,000 just so in case something else comes in, which I'm not expecting. Cover it.
And this is on
It's on
2025.
2025.
What is it? Did you just say it was for what accounts you transferred?
From my regular earnings, which is 0.1,
121.
121,
Got it, got it.
okay, to 4080 consultants.
Yeah, thanks.
So move.
Okay. Moved by Jay, second by Dana. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any others?
I guess I have a statement real quick. Regarding the resolution R, which I understand why it got voted down, it's fairly expensive. But, you know, when it comes to juvenile delinquency procedures, we basically got the same job as the DA, which is to try to make our community a little safer. And I do, because of the nature of the way our county set up as opposed to some others, I kind of get caught in the tug of war between probation and Department of Social Services about what this position is want to be. So it's, you know, I'm certainly not trying to run these bills up. I'm simply trying to do my job, try to keep our community safe. I do have certain restrictions when it comes to dispositions. If I put a get on probation, the maximum period I can put a get on probation for is 2 years. If they violate twice, I kind of run out of options, and I'm not a big believer in, okay, well, stop, or I'll say stop again. So just so you know, I understand why, but it could make my
Well,
job a little more difficult.
I think we all need to understand, and maybe you should have said it earlier, is you decide pretty much who's going to them.
Well, in the end, the court decides, because they're entitled to hearing, but I try to be.
Not many.
I try not to send many, and I try to be progressive, and when I say progressive, meaning progressively more strict punishment as things go along, so I'm done.
Okay. We're gonna recess for a minute or two because Dana Hogan's missing, because we need an executive session, but.
I was just wondering, Brian, are we gonna discuss regards to that email we received yesterday on mental health vouchers there that are gonna trip over into the next budget? Is that what Stacy's on?
I wasn't here, so I'm not sure what email you're talking about.
No, I think it was just a cutoff date,
Okay.
just so that they're not gonna run out of money. They're just gonna stop here and start over. I think that's what,
Well, I think it was,
I think that's what she was saying.
You signed council as a big start.
no, this is, I
was
think,
the-
on the, mental
Mental
health.
health.
And we keep voting down.
She said that March would be the end of it. The March audit would be the end of it.
So, and whether you pay it or not, I have to record it on our books.
Right.
So
Gets recorded
the
either.
payable will be on our books, even if it's unpaid.
He was questioning that. I didn't know if that was something that finance had to look at.
That will be talked about.
So even if,
Deciding when we.
no, that was for a sign council, that's why I asked. So what's good about me putting it on the books, Supervisor, is if you were to decide to pay it in June or July, I'd still be able to pay that with 2025 money that's already been. So if there's a point where you pull the trigger on paying that bill, it will have already been recorded and
This is just gonna be a new bill cycle that we're not gonna pay. Not a chance, Bob.
Well, we haven't finished the bill cycle. We'll finish it in March after the audit.
I guess it-
And that's kind of what she was saying.
And I guess I'll repeat for the 5th time, my warning that the state will retain the right to pull that money back from us should we decide to continue to not pay it. I understand I understand your process. I understand the message you're sending, but I'm not doing my job if I don't remind you that they will just take it back.
And Al, they may charge it.
God only knows what
Like
they'll do,
late
Mr.
fee.
Fisher. They in their infinite wisdom can do a lot of things.
Yeah, so if they pull it out of sales tax, which that's probably the only area they can take it out of, town we penalized by 7%. Because they take $600,000 out, that's $42,000 less we're gonna have to distribute to the town that we had planned to. So there's gonna be a penalty, town or the county. And that's my pleasure.
Thank you.
So he's not wrong. If they decide to do it through a sales tax intercept, that would be left of a distribution to the towns. He is correct about that.
It's a difference.
So,
What is the difference really? As long as there's no
Different than
penalty.
towns don't.
That is a
have
penalty.
money. To some towns, it's a couple $1,000, that's big money.
Takes a $42,000, which we should have the towns,
42,000
over
to
7%.
the towns.
So that's where it'd be coming out of. You're penalizing taxpayers.
Okay. We have an executive session. It's about personnel. So I don't know what you're.
Discuss the
Specific.
specific credit history, employment history, et cetera, of a particular person.
Need a motion.
Motion to go to executive session.
By Mr. Wang, seconded by David O'Brien. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, the other ones are small, wait to.
It'll be quick.